The night air was thick with a damp chill as Alex Fisher parked his beat-up van near the overgrown gate of the old Whitmore Estate. A full moon hung low in the sky, casting elongated shadows that danced with the rustling branches. Alex, a travel vlogger with a penchant for the paranormal, adjusted his camera equipment with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Haunted houses were his niche, but something about this place felt different, more sinister. The locals had been tight-lipped, offering only wary glances and muttered warnings when he mentioned his plans. But the mystery surrounding the disappearance of the Whitmore family in the 1950s was too tantalizing to resist. Pushing past the warped wooden door, Alex stepped into a grand foyer shrouded in darkness. His flashlight cut through the dust-laden air, revealing a tarnished chandelier and a staircase that spiraled into the abyss above. Every creak of the floorboards echoed like a whispered secret. He spoke into the camera, his voice hushed. "This is where it all happened," he said, panning across the decaying opulence, where the Whitmores vanished without a trace. As he moved deeper into the house, the walls seemed to close in, adorned with tattered wallpaper and portraits whose eyes seemed to follow him. An hour into his exploration, Alex discovered a narrow staircase hidden behind a bookshelf that groaned under the weight of time. Curiosity piqued, he ascended cautiously, each step protesting under his weight. The attic was vast yet claustrophobic, filled with trunks and cobweb-covered furniture. Then he saw them, an array of family portraits lining the far wall. He approached one, the image of a stern-looking man whose eyes bore into his soul. Turning away to adjust his equipment, he glanced back and felt his heart skip a beat. The man's expression had changed. A sly smile now curled his lips. Alex's breath caught in his throat. He moved to the next portrait, a woman with a forlorn gaze. She now appeared to be weeping, tears glistening on the canvas. "This can't be real," he whispered, a tremor in his voice. The air grew colder, and the smell of decay intensified. Suddenly, a thud resonated behind him. He spun around, the beam of his flashlight bouncing off the shadows. Nothing. The silence pressed in, broken only by the sound of his own pounding heart. Determined to capture evidence, he set up his camera to film the paintings, hoping to catch the transformations. As the night wore on, the house seemed to awaken. Footsteps echoed in distant halls, whispers slithered through the cracks, and the portraits continued their unsettling dance of expressions. Reviewing the footage, Alex's hands shook as he watched the faces in the paintings contort into grotesque visages, some mouths opening in silent screams, others glaring with malevolent intent. A sense of dread enveloped him. "I need to leave," he thought. But the moment he headed for the stairs, they vanished, replaced by a solid wall. Panic surged. The house was shifting, trapping him within its labyrinth. Desperation took hold. Alex dashed from room to room, each one morphing before his eyes. Doors led to nowhere. Windows revealed only darkness. The whispers grew louder, coalescing into discernible words. "Join us," they beckoned. In the main hall, the figures from the portraits stood corporeal, their translucent forms blocking his path. The Whitmore family surrounded him, the man, the woman, 2 children clutching tattered toys, all bearing the same sinister grin. "Stay with us," the patriarch whispered, extending a hand. A cold gust extinguished his flashlight, plunging everything into darkness. In the enveloping blackness, Alex felt a cold touch on his shoulder. Fear paralyzed him. Summoning every ounce of courage, he screamed and bolted blindly forward. Unexpectedly, he stumbled and fell, not onto dusty floorboards, but damp grass. He was outside, the first light of dawn streaking the sky. Gasping for air, he looked back at the house. It stood silent and still, the windows like empty eyes. Relief flooded him, but as he reached for his camera, hoping to find proof of his ordeal, he realized it was gone. In its place was an old Polaroid photograph clutched in his hand. Staring at the photo, his blood ran cold. It was a picture of the Whitmore family standing in front of the house, but there, among them, was his own horrified face peering from a window. The realization hit him like a thunderbolt. The house hadn't released him, it had marked him. The whispers returned, faint but unmistakable. "See you soon," they sighed. Alex backed away slowly, a chilling certainty settling in his bones that his escape was only temporary. The house had claimed him, and eventually, inevitably, he would be drawn back into its grasp.